I'm 88 now, and most mornings begin the same way. I wake before the light fully settles into the room, not because I have somewhere to be, but because my body has forgotten how to sleep without urgency. There's a quiet moment after waking when the world hasn't asked anything of me yet. No decisions, no responsibilities, just breath. It was in one of those moments that the thought arrived. Not loudly, not urgently, just there. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, hands resting where they've rested for years, when I wondered almost absent-mindedly, when did I stop noticing my life while it was happening? The question didn't scare me. It didn't demand attention. It felt harmless, like something you could think about later if you ever felt like it. I didn't understand why it stayed with me, why it followed me into the kitchen, into the quiet of the morning. At my age, thoughts come and go, memories drift in without invitation and leave without explanation. But this one didn't leave. It didn't insist. It waited. I didn't yet know what it meant, only that something about it felt unfinished. If that thought had arrived when I was younger, I would have dismissed it without effort. Back then, life was about movement, forward motion, momentum. Questions that slowed you down felt indulgent. I was busy, proud of it. Busy felt important. It felt like proof that I mattered somewhere, to someone. There were schedules to keep, expectations to meet, plans layered on top of plans. I measured my days by output, not awareness. Noticing felt unnecessary. Why notice when you could progress? When you're young, or younger than I am now, you believe understanding will come naturally, as a byproduct of experience. You assume clarity is something that shows up on its own, like maturity or confidence. You don't think you need to slow down to earn it.
So, when moments passed without being felt, I didn't question them. That's how life worked. You moved through it, and meaning would collect somewhere behind you. At least, that's what I believed. Years move differently when you aren't watching them. They don't announce themselves. They don't pause to be acknowledged. They slip past while you're busy explaining why you'll pay attention later. Life filled itself. Work, routines, obligations. People came and went, some slowly, some all at once. I adapted, adjusted, continued. That's what you do. The question stayed quiet, buried beneath usefulness, beneath responsibility, beneath the comfort of being needed somewhere. I didn't feel lost. I felt occupied. And occupancy, I've learned, can be mistaken for engagement. There were moments I should have felt more deeply, conversations, goodbyes, ordinary evenings that never repeated themselves. But I was already thinking ahead, already preparing for what came next. Life kept happening, I kept moving, and the question waited. The moment wasn't dramatic, no crisis, no collapse, just a pause that felt unfamiliar. I was alone in a room I'd been in thousands of times. Same furniture, same light, same quiet. But something about the stillness felt heavier than usual, like it was asking something of me. That's when the question returned. When did I stop noticing my life while it was happening? It didn't arrive as accusation. It arrived as observation, like noticing a room you've lived in for decades suddenly feels unfamiliar. I realized then that I had memories of events, but very few memories of being present inside them. I remembered outcomes, not sensations, results, not moments. The thought unsettled me, not because it hurt, but because it made sense. Once the question settled in, it began quietly rearranging my memories. Moments I had considered unimportant took on weight. Things I thought I remembered clearly revealed gaps. Not holes exactly, more like rooms I'd walked through without looking around. I started to see how often I had been physically present but mentally elsewhere. How many conversations I half listened to. How many days I rushed through believing they were interchangeable. The question didn't accuse me, it simply illuminated something I hadn't known I was missing. Awareness. Not awareness of failure, awareness of absence. The realization arrived quietly, the way most truths do when they're real. I hadn't lost my life, I had skimmed it. I had lived efficiently, responsibly, productively, but rarely attentively. I assumed noticing could wait, that there would be time later to reflect, to feel, to absorb what I was moving through. But noticing isn't something you do afterward, it only exists in the moment. That was the thought that arrived too late. I don't know where you are when you hear this, what age, what phase, what pace you're moving at. I only know that questions don't announce their importance when they first appear. They arrive quietly, easy to ignore, easy to postpone. The one that found me may never find you, or it may already be waiting somewhere beneath your routines. I won't tell you what to do with it. I wouldn't have listened if someone had told me. I can only pass it along. When did I stop noticing my life while it was happening?